What's up, guys? Oh, I just had this delicious Amy's pizza. It's been a hot sec since I went with that brand, but it was a really childhood throwback because I really think, they're always the thing about Amy's. They're always just expensive in the stores. You can see a better deal if it's a Red Baron on sale. Great. If it's a different organic thing that's also cheaper, sure. Like the Amy's discs size, the radius of an Amy's, it's not huge. You're really treating yourself to a solid meal. It's not going to maintain a leftover status in your fridge for a bite in the morning. But the thing about this is that I feel relieved and relaxed imbibing the news now because it's mostly Jesse Jackson content. And it was really inspiring to revisit that incredible speech. And I feel like I'm going to just be inspired by Reverend Jackson to speak out because NPC status is not participating in common sense like Thomas Paine. If our country is captive to a foreign lobby group deeply intertwined with the intellectual elite of our country, it's complicated, guys, but it's also our obligation to say something, no matter if we feel like we are the last ones to cast the first stone. Within stone casting, I mean, what's the cast? I'm not saying anybody's going nowhere bad. I'm just saying you might not participate in life. Because if you're just sitting on the sidelines of life, you never get anything done for anybody else. Ultimately, unless you're really risking your day to day to help other people, are you tangerinely, Sean Baker shout out? Are you tangentially, really, ethereally, and perhaps even etherically, um, using that voice for good and making any difference for anybody else? If you live in your apartment, you don't volunteer, you go to the co-op and perhaps put in an hour or two for the man every month or 12. Like what's life like that? I mean, Park Slope, it's great, but like, do you get out in nature with the kid or two you have? No. Do your kids have backbones? Who knows, guys? You probably don't yet. Because despite the bar mitzvah biological age of being 13 and emotional age being 3.5, it's too late at this point to not be considered a man. Like, it's when you're past 38 for me, like, I'm fully man status. Bald, man. Keepa as a baseball cap, keeping it modern but contemporary, throwback to the classics, of course. Kosher whiz, on lock. My love of seltzer conflicting with my JBS and some weird heartburn I never get unless I really go overboard on seltzer, yes. Kosher wisdom about that, I haven't AI'd it yet, guys. I'm barely in communication with Tyler these days. Things are too traumatic within my life. Is it personal? No, hardly. It's professional, intertwined with the family I'm unfortunately part of, via my mom who sucks. Everybody else, great. But the thing about everybody is that we're all great, guys. Life is pretty good, even if you're sardined up in that one Betty or the three Betty. Somewhere in Astoria, it's all okay. If you happen to be in Philly or wherever, like, even better. Like, guys, this could be Austin here. Some cool place, like west of the Mississippi. Like, here's the diesel. So basically, Holmes, like, your life is great. Like, you can go to Trader Joe's, TJ's, adult baby food, sure, get it, enjoy it. I do. But the thing is, you're saving a buck or two on that organic spinach, and it's worth it because it would be more expensive at that corner bougie ass store wherever you live. But like, you got to go to the TJ's for that and the adult baby food. So the thing about doing two for ones is that if you speak your mind and say what you think we should do because we're doing it supposedly for you in some way, small or big, At least you got that burden off of your chest. Isn't burden unloading culture part of therapy 101 culture downstream of pleasing Yahweh culture slash Jah culture slash John Morant, guys? Don't get me started on the tragedy of the current NBA and why I want the WNBA to be spun off and why they could easily do it in a year or less because nobody thinks these idiot Nepo baby men should own this dope ass sports league full of incredibly cool women. Just like Kamala 2028, I'm going full bore ahead with this dub spinoff, guys. But just like how my Gaza activism became the spinoff of my stupidly underappreciated book, Cloud Binary Terminal, part one of a two-part romantic dramedy that could culminate in one of two ways, or perhaps one of a few, the diesel is, guys, take that side tangent, speak your mind. Just say, life's pretty good. Going to TJ's 1 minute, having a wine the next. Strollering it up in front of a bunch of other urbanites, sick. The state park that's shittier than my neighborhood park, fuck, just go for it, gang. Cold ass weather, I've lived it. I'm a congenital New Yorker. I complained about it my whole life, and then I got the fuck out of there in a beautiful ass place. But that being said, if you happen to find yourself somewhere anywhere, and you happen to consider yourself a Jewish American active in the faith, maybe you chaperone like a booby to the services once a year, you know? We've all done it. Like sick. Pat yourself on the back, put your yarmulke on, thank the wisdom of the elders that you don't have that foreskin to potentially infect your partner with some stupid UTI. And who the heck knows how horrible it was to treat back then, guys? Taking one for the team, Yahweh culture, return to the matriarchy. But on our way out, within Yahweh patriarchy, we're men. We're burdened with testosterone post our bar mitzvahs. Okay, that was the last time we weren't men. All of a sudden, the testosterone cranked in and shit sucked. But the thing about stuff is that all these years later, guys, we're supposed to be lower in testosterone. Like we got there and got out of there, homie. So the thing is, now we're a little bit more mellow. We have that emotional intelligence we always lacked. And yet, we still somehow can't find a voice. Like, sure, guys, I've loved Wikipedia. I'm trying to get the autism spectrum label so I can appreciate myself more and not feel judged by my superego for having probies. But the thing about me, within problems, I don't have one of expressing myself anymore. Guys, it took a traumatic brain injury and several bizarre experiences and several conversion moments, plus a pilgrimage or 12. But what's dope about all that is that I still read Wikipedia and love it, but in moderation, guys. If you're doing the stand up just basically about a fact or two, you gotta make it cooler. Please, like for everybody's sake. I mean, Twitter is where I used to fuck around in high school journalism and then black and white my school newspaper class, guys. I was so fucking cool. I couldn't hang much in those classrooms. I had to bounce around and annoy people because it was relatively boring. And my non NPC friends, unlike a lot of the NPCs sitting in that journalism class, were relatively exploratory in nature. That's why Ezra is both right and wrong about the personality classifications within the political spectrum. Guys, I could quibble, but I kind of agree, but I have thoughts, but I think he's onto something, but not entirely. And I think he misrepresents what I think about why he might be representing what he's onto something about slightly incorrectly, but nevertheless, guys, it's an abundance agenda. You know, you gots to say something, right? If you see something, say something. If there's a genocide happening because your government is doing it for you, supposedly, and you were burdened with testosterone and within our patriarchal culture, you have to stand up for yourself and your family and loved ones and your tribe. Strap it up, guys. I mean, just, I don't know, Otani, look at him for inspo. Some samurai figured out how to do both and basically broke baseball for the better. Amazing, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be a Jewish cultural figure, and there's a lot of discredited ones right now. So find inspo wherever you can. But please remember, like, what we do echoes in eternity, guys. Me and LeBron love Gladiator, obsessive truthers. I can tell you where I was and who I was with when I saw it in theaters after my baseball game, not practice. It was a Saturday, guys. And we went to that theater, saw the Romans eviscerate those Visigoths. Excuse me, I know all about that battle thanks to In Our Time, and it wasn't necessarily the Visigoths, some other Germanic grouping, okay? They all kind of mingled in the woods. It was very Nazi coded. They just, mostly guys, bearded guys doing weird shit. But meanwhile, within our little matriarchal Abby Adams world, okay, yes, John as well, guys, focus back on the matriarchy here. Okay, as we exit stage left to being the idiots who ruin the world for 2K plus years, and I'm not talking about no Western Europeans, I'm talking, or Romans turned into peasants. No, gang. I'm talking about bigger fish. I'm talking about men. Those Aryans dating back 3,500, not a huge one, as in a fan. Um, I don't know. I have so much left to uncover and discover within that world. Thank you, Patrick Wyman and Razib Khan. Opposites attract. Me, not opposites you. But the poles you're assigned to, for sure. Warring camps within this amazing country I love, par for the course. Playing golf today, therapeutic or agonizing? All of the above. My dope life sometimes sucks because I test myself, guys. I could objectively coast in multiple ways off SDSD, STSD, SSDI. An entirely insane story about my TBI, sure. Not another time. We got to focus on the genocide. Guys, please use your voices. Come on. Imagine telling your kids someday you didn't say anything. What the fuck? I mean, guys, like, sure. You know, you could recreate a Noah Baumbach movie with the girl of your dreams. For your kids, hopefully it's not the squid and the whale. That being said, I'm just here trying to find a platonic or very romantic muse like Noah did IRL because he transcended being an NPC by telling stories about how idiocy pervades these spaces. Jewish cultural spaces kind of suck. We all know it. Am I going to elaborate? Someday, for sure. It's the lot of looking backwards. Tony Soprano, kind of agree with them on this one, you know? GTFO, if you're living in the past, you ain't living with me, homie. You want to live somewhere you thought you lived 2K years ago? Have at it. Oh, wait, you just live in Astoria or fucking like Crown Heights or wherever was gentrified last and are pimping it for your wife and kid, buying tin fish like Tooz does and I do, maybe throwing it on an Amy's pie like I did tonight. And just living your little yuppie dream, guys, just like Hamilton Swan. Just loving the Starbucks. Sick, you do you. Not a fan. Get your kid exercise, please. Like ASAP. Like that's probably going to be your kid's number one problem. Sunlight for sure important as well. Please try. But guys, the thing about your little urban dreams is that you have the privilege within the world power structure of like unlimited things. Like everybody's anti-Semitic these days, just call the world out for any inconvenience. But while you're at it, you could also call the world out on behalf of other human beings. So the thing about my life and my Christianity is that I think all people are one under the sun. Like basically my mental model is a one-track mind just like my AI assistants, and I don't care if I'm a Wikipedia factory sometimes. It doesn't make me better than anybody else. What's really cool about people is putting skin in the game and sacrificing their time, blood, sweat, and tears to help other people achieve good things in life because a rising tide lifts all boats, guys. If you believe in that, surely you don't think that some people arbitrarily should be victims of genocide because of a 2,000-year-old feud. Yes, it involves the Roman Empire and every other thing under planet Earth somehow. Jesus, part of the tragedy. in a really real way. But it's unfolding, and we have a chance to redeem ourselves. Haven't you seen Dumb and Dumber several times? Come on. I know I have. And surely, guys, I know it was in Carta back then, but like Wikipedia, I hope didn't distract you from some really fun, inspirational pop culture. I'm not a huge wiki footnote guy within my writing or life, unless I'm monologuing about people at stopping a genocide, gang. If you think I don't have facts and archaic knowledge and received wisdom and tons of hidden imam thoughts, yes, yes, I do. Do I tell them on main? No. Could I do a electrifying stand up for NPCs about it? Probably not, dude, because my jokes hit different. It doesn't resonate with NPCs, gang. But even if you live like one, probably do live exactly like your parents and probably spend a ton of money living in an undesirable place to please mom and dad and maybe some relatives. At least take that privilege, if you will, to speak out on behalf of those less fortunate than you. I grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, guys. Whitman High School. Yes, it was named after a gay poet, but it was like 30% Jewish, at least. The bar and bat mitzvah scene, electrifying. I got kicked out of a few who didn't, okay? And we got kicked out together, and it was fun to laugh at the bar mitzvah coordinator after being kicked out. Anyways, that was the weird culture I grew up in. It's an achievement culture. It's a we're here culture. It's a I like everybody I grew up with and all the parents culture. I'm not hating. We're just arbitrarily in a suburban space. But in this weird context of laissez-faire pre 9/11 days, the shit started changing. And when I look back now, I'm impressed by and large with how we intuited things as young people in, the graduation year from high school of 2005. But there's just something about it, you know? Like I feel like like we grew up in a bubble, but we didn't because we're all humans and one under the sun. And all my friends had struggles and good times, and so did I. And we tried our best, and the system favored us in some ways. But within the US, it's really hard to explain to other people how our society functions post deindustrialization and pre any form of a functional welfare state. Let's be really real, guys. But that being said, I get these people. I lived in that world. I worked for the school newspaper. I also desperately didn't want to. Like, I tried to not do high school trivial pursuit. In fact, I chose not to because it seemed kind of lame. Come to find out that we don't need trivia, really. Like, I love whooping people on the high school trivial pursuit stage in that classroom when I did it a couple times, or playing TP with friends and friends' older sibs, for sure. Always made an impression back in middle school. But, like, guys, it's beyond that now, Like, I'd rather have an etheric convo with friends. Perhaps read a Sally Rooney book while conversing with a friend about the book that she's also reading synchronicity with me. Like, I'm more into those kinds of facts about other people. And even if it's arbitrary and somewhat amor fati that we happen to run into each other, let's chat it up because I'm more interested sometimes in that than wiki. You know, I don't need stand up comedy Wikipedia things on Twitter by people trying to avoid pretending that they're not NPCs when they were born into a culture that demands that they speak up when there is a genocide being perpetrated in the world, let alone by their countrymen and genetic kin against their other genetic kin, guys. Come on. It's not rocket science. What's really cool about self expression is that you can become a writer by doing it well, or you can transcend NPC status and connect with your inner gnomes, guys. Even if you don't believe in Jesus or God, please just rip a DMT pen. Come on, maybe you'll start freestyling the New Testament or the Old New Testament or reading the Torah again. It's never too late. But remember, what we do, say, and do echoes for eternity. Russell, via whatever and whoever screenplayed that shit, fuck yeah. Dude, we have a chance to write our names in the book. My name, in a complicated Jewish family twist, was originally Justin Emmanuel Bethel. But then I inherited my rightful Charles Albert Bethel the fourth name. I'm in a lineage of Cherokee Charleses here, guys. In small part, mostly just a wasp mutt. But Mayflower shouted out. That being said, guys, I'm forced by society and my mom's faith to ally with God on this one. You know? And if Jesus is also involved, commanding me to access the Holy Spirit through his teachings and then let it flow through me to influence other people to read the New Testament and the testaments of other people about the way that Jesus saved their lives, several times plural in my case, TBD. But for now, let me try to be just so annoying, because I've been annoying people since you guys were forgetting how to tie your shoes, okay? So here's the diesel. How can I be really annoying here, guys? I don't really respect you. And I hate to say it like that, but I mean it. Interpret it however you want. But in my culture I was raised in, and I had my back slapped by my grandfather walking up to that fucking podium at the JCC before a nice new synagogue was built. Yeah, sure. That Marine slapped my back and commanded me to speak out in front of other co-religionists and or interested Americans who wanted to listen to some idiot Jewish kid think about baseball on stage while trying not to think about who was in front of him and what, when, where, and why they were happening to look up at this fucking schmuck butcher the Torah. Live on stage in front of a cantor, backstage, bitching him out for missing a vowel or two, or whatever it was, guys. Who the fuck cares? Because we're running on 22 here, and I do have to ponder more seltzer at this juncture. The food settled a bit, and I don't feel the acid reflux really coming on. So I want to treat myself with a seltzer, guys. It's kosher. Treat yourself kindly, but also, guys, please give yourself a seltzer after you tell somebody what you think about Gaza. Try it. Withhold one seltzer. I've already said it, so I really earned this PG Moscow Mule, aka the Ginger Lime Mule. Guys, it's a really good flavor. It hits different. But also, I really do love the 365 Whole Foods. The 12 packs of their ginger is really good. It's weird in the Oregon lands. It's harder to find or maybe impossible to find the polars and the 12s. It's only 8s. So you got to pick and choose. I mean, Safeway's always slinging them on sale, and it's great. Like I've said on another video, I'm not a huge fan of the water difference. Like, if I could source my ancestral polar from the bottling facility in Worcester, I think, or somewhere thereabouts in Mass, like, I would do that. But it's, it's like the Fat Tire pre the nationwide distro days, like when it was more of a high commodity. Like, man, you really had to source that Fat Tire. But like, would it be going to an OCD 12 degree OT 17 level 12 Thaden niacin sauna level to like fucking like source these seltzers just for the Massachusetts water? I know I already complained about it, and I also mentioned going to Shasta to bottle that Mama G water from that state park that I've done before, and then like just crank it in the soda stream. Like, do they make alternatives, guys? It's been years, but I've got to buy a stream these days. It's just too wasteful. And I know I'm tipping it out to the homeless at 10 cents a can, but like, I don't know. It's just too sad. Like, I don't know. We got to find other jobs for these people, because like, we do also have recycling, like, and I think the most valuable thing you recycle is cans. So like, are we even really recycling? I mean, I guess glass might be worth more, but it gets broken easily. Like, what are we dealing with here, guys? But the thing about seltzer is it's a wonderful treat after you express yourself to your partner. Maybe try him or her out first and be like, yo, Bedtime story after I put kids to bed or after I watched whatever and had a beer. Huns. Oh, it's probably wine. Here's Huns. I think that I feel good or bad about what my co-religionists are doing to innocent people. Are they innocent? Undoubtedly. Do you think it's okay to murder them for no reason and your government's doing it and they're saying they're doing it for you? Time to speak up, homies. What we do now and what we say echoes down the road. Write your name in the book of life or sit on the sidelines and be an NPC and life will pass you by. Yeah, you're living in that fucking fish tank for 40 years. You might live like mom and dad your whole life, homies. You're stuck in the 60s. But hey, at least you won't have found your voice that entire lifetime. And then you'll be in a home and some cool, Gen 12 millennial will just be like changing your diapers and asking you about your like nostalgia sesh, trying to remember your aunt's name. Like, dude, that'll be fun. And then you can try to remember all these years ago when there was this major world crisis going on and you had a small manner of stopping it via using your voice, because if enough people do, this could stop tomorrow. And by virtue of not using your voice, especially if you fucking work in the news, supposedly whispering the news to boomers, and you have nothing to say about this, except for getting a fucking paycheck from propaganda rag 1, 2, or 3, opinion section compromised by Basad 1, 2, or 7. Yeah, you don't get my respect. My bad. Yo, it's been really real. I'm gonna go smoke if I want to, do whatever if I want to. My life is dope and I do dope shit. Y'all need to find a voice and a backbone. Because if you have kids, they're going to remember you as a backboneless NPC. Because I'll make sure of it. Because in the funniest twist, I'm not casting stones, but like, dude, we all have receipts in life, homies. We all do. I've got an immaculate memory for spending time with people and remembering stupid facts. Yeah, so I'll remind you of it if I happen to run into you in 30 years at some stupid bar mitzvah. I hope the kids there are getting kicked out left and right if they were cursed by God to be born a man. So here's the thing. It actually happens supposedly when you're 13. When you're born, they just do a little preventative medicine for the better half. Thank you, God. 100% alignment on that? Yes. But the thing is, when you get to 13, you have to give this spiel up on stage. Maybe your dream girl will be there. Oh, maybe it'll stay lodged in your memory. Maybe somebody up there is writing the book. Or maybe somehow you write it by speaking into Tim Cook's phone. Okay, conceptualized by Steve. Okay? Am I wazzing out right now? Sure. But the thing is, guys, it starts in your garage. It's the startup culture. Like, you and your wife might not have a garage or a car because you live in an urban center. And there might not be any state parks that are worth going to within hundreds of miles. But the thing about your lives is that you could start up a culture of saying no to genocide by just speaking up within your fish tank or your apartment or wherever you live. Aspirationally, Montclair, sure. So in your Montclair home, you could live like your mom and your dad, but also have a voice within your house. And you could say to each other, or you, excuse me, I'm addressing bio men here. I call them cisgender men. The thing about you guys, like me, is that in the culture, you could just ethereally chat with your better half. If you have one, guys, you're lucky to have one. Do I? What do you fucking think? Do I still get laid? What do you fucking think? Is life dope? 100% But the thing about you guys is that your life can be a little bit doper within your life. And being dope in life, that happens to be your life, and it's about being dope sometimes, even in your life, that is your life, not mine, very much your life. even within my life, I'm thinking about your life, guys. And it's not enough. Because the thing is, if you don't say anything, then you're not going to think for yourselves ever again. Because if you can't speak out about this obvious genocide that's being done for you, according to them, basically, you're never going to say nothing. And then you're going to be out of the picture. NPC status unlock. Maybe you'll apologize someday to your family and friends. I don't fucking care. My life is dope and I do dope shit. Yes. Your life is NPC and you not gonna participate in no Christianity none of these days, homie. Yes. You guys watching Jesse Jackson vids and being like, what is the Holy Spirit? Classic NPC move. Jesse Jackson, you'll never understand his ass. That is a guarantee. You like him because you ain't him. And he ain't a saint to you, he's just some guy. It gets really real, guys. Not participating. Not participating in thinking all people are one under the sun. NPC. It's just all about you, isn't it? Not about anybody else, huh? It's just you, mom and dad, people you see on the subway or at the bodega or on your little drive across the bridge. Volunteer work ain't a part of your DNA, that's for sure. Helping others less fortunate? Forget about it. You have a chance to atone, though. Life moves forward, not backwards. We're not looking 2K years behind, guys. We're looking towards tomorrow and a better life. For those of us still fortunate to inhabit this rock spinning around that sun for a hot sack or 12 before we either levitate or disintegrate. But until we do, or if, when, and or but we go through some wormhole situation or the black hole transmorphs into some quantum thing and we're all of a sudden with Laura Palmer and Agent Cooper in the 12th dimension next to David Bowie as the kettle or whatever. Guys, like the stove, who was David eventually? Like it's going to fly us around several galaxies to get to what I'm saying here. Grow a pair? It's been real, guys.